in because of Nada, because she sent me an email, and I told her it's like I read that email late at night, and I went into the website, and I didn't go to bed at that night. I was so energized. I read the whole. I went everywhere that I could go on the website, and then I went on YouTube. I looked everything, and I waited until 8 o'clock that I can call her, and say, hey, I'm coming for breakfast. I want to know what's going on. And basically, the first moment when I felt it, when I opened the website, it's like I saw Dada, I heard the music, I started reading, and I knew I have to go there. This is the thing that I was longing for. This one was longing for since he was, while he was walking on this earth, at least in this body. Maybe all the infinites other ones too. But basically, the feeling was so clear that this is what needs to happen. That was number one. And number two, this is the end of everything else.
Yes.
It was clearly there, and I had no clue what it is, but it was clearly there. This is the end of anything else. Like as somebody shared, this is the end of any search. There's no more search, and this is the truth. And this is also what happens. Like we made it happen a few months later. 2 months later, I could go to England, and the Gnan I took was, it's like that moment. It was not only the Gnan. From the first go on, from get-go, when we talked the next day and that afternoon or the next day or whatever, we had the first connection. And the first connection with this one was 4 hours on Skype, 4 to 5 hours. And I could ask any question, and he was answering any question, and I could ask more questions, like not in the meaning of, it was it was an amazing feeling, because I felt already Dada, totally. So it was tremendous. But then I had whatever married karma that I met him because of the connections that he said, you need to meet this guy, at least give him 5 minutes of your time. So we arranged that when I arrive in England that I should call Dimple or send him a message. Not that I called, I was invited to lunch. So I never forget, it was like a room like this. And I came in the room, and we were a little late because for whatever reason we didn't find it right away, remember? So we came into the corridor, and I just crossed the door, and here he was sitting, and I saw him first moment, I was like, oof. I just looked in his eyes, and it was like, oh my God. And I was like, and still he was normal, there was not a big thing, but it was, the feel was tremendous. And I knew I'm home. That's one thing. So this is clear, and everything else doesn't matter anymore. So that was also clear. And to make the long story short, I stopped my work. I was long time, 16, 17 years in a training, and delivered that all over the world. But I couldn't do that anymore. It's impossible. It was not possible anymore. And if I have to say what Gnan did, I could not stop, because there's so many things. Starting from that first incident of the Gnan Vidhi. At that night, when we took Gnan Vidhi, it was Thursday. I had only 2 days to squeeze into the schedule, and on the weekend I had a workshop. And on that night, on Thursday, Friday morning, we should fly home. That night there was this volcano in Iceland, or wherever happening, last 2010, and the whole airplane thing. Even Deepakbhai couldn't fly out. Yeah? All the Birmingham Mahatmas were very happy, but I had to go because it was. I did it out of disintegrity. I didn't tell anybody from my group what I was doing, and I had to be back because I had that workshop. So I had to be back on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock in Zurich, in Switzerland. So, and I remember we were running, the flight was cancelled, no flight. So I said, okay, we need to go, we need to find a way. And from England you have to come via boat or via train. So we went from Birmingham to London. We were in London, we went to that place where you call the train to Paris, the that underground train
Channel.
thousands of people waiting, and they said already tickets starting on Tuesday next week, no place before. So I was sitting there. We were running with our luggage, with two big murtis in the backpacks, and so I said, okay, so now Gnan should work. So if it's working, this is the proof now here. How can we make that happen? It's like, and it was a funny thing. Even though there was a strong intention to go home, there was also totally kind of stillness inside. It was interesting to see what was working there. And finally, we made it home by such circumstances that are unbelievable how it works out, but it works out. And even though we find two people we took in our car, and this story is only, I could tell an hour for that, but still, that was an amazing feeling when we were driving home. And coming home, and I made it to the point, I think 5 or 10 minutes late, I was there in Zurich, it was just that, and I knew this is going tremendous, whatever will come out of that will be tremendous. And last year when we had Deepakbhai there, first of all, when we came back in August to England and we brought him 3 books translated, the best time I could ever have to come into Gnan was the time with Nada and Shirish and Shuddha doing these translations for the Charan Vidhi. Because the piece was, we did Charan Vidhi, we went so deep into it because we did Charan Vidhi from Gujarati into German. Yeah. Via the medium of English. Wow. Yeah? So, because there's only English. But the piece, and that's what the biggest gift is for anybody who's doing seva, any kind of seva, doesn't matter, we talked before just about seva. Translation is one of the biggest sevas you could do, but anyway, doing this brought me into Gnan so deeply that there was clearly, that Dada was speaking all the time. And when we had our conversations, when we searched for words, we had a word, and Shuddha was explaining a word for an hour, because we didn't find the right translation, but anyway, how this works out, and we all prayed that Dada give us the right word, and all of a sudden both of us, one was speaking it out, or both of us had the same feel, like this is it. And it was really a tremendous feeling. Yeah? So this brought me totally into that. And the Gnani was also offering, surprisingly, because we didn't expect and we didn't have any expectations or intents.
You heard in an ILO5 before that he will come next year?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, and then that he will come to Germany, because he was not supposed to come next year, so he decided to come. And last year, that to have him there was such an unbelievable thing. And then it's like, for me, one of the major that's always in my mind, for whatever reason, that came up right now when I was talking about that. One thing that the Gnani did, I had the privilege to drive him around to the places. And there was one incident in the class, in the conference room, that one guy asked a question, was a little critical about how he sees things. The Gnani gave an answer and he said, it's all beliefs, it's all your beliefs. That's what he said. How do you believe this is true? It's like, it's a belief that you're sharing with us. Mm-hmm. And the Gnani gave him some kind of different angles to his answer until he was kind of okay. But he was saying, okay, I will see what happens. And in the car, I said to him, it was amazing how to feel that, how he was dealing with that person. And then he said to me, and that was really touching, he said, you know, this guy is asking a question and he's looking, like if you have a big building, he's looking out of the window of the basement. Yeah. So he can only see the basement, he can only see the grass and the flowers. I'm looking from the 15th floor, yes. And I can see Ahmedabad, and I can see the mountains, whatever, yeah, I can see that. And Dada is talking from the 100th floor, and this is what he's coming from, yeah, or even higher. But this is what he said, and then it makes so click. There was no doubt at all. There was no doubt before, but that was a clear thing. Whatever comes out here is coming from such a high level that even though if I'm looking out of the basement and I cannot understand, forget all what the intellect is doing, because you can feel that you know, this vision is a clear, different level, and that was like, when I saw that picture, when he gave that picture, it was such a simple thing, but it opens totally, and I will never forget that, because it was a tremendous insight. Oh yeah, it's just a few, wherever he's looking, or wherever he's, what the vision is. It was really fantastic. So, yeah, and I'm really honored to be here and to have all those possibilities that we have, that we get such an hospitality here as Germans, and from all of you. Also, when you come to Germany, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter. It feels still we are in the hospitality of you, even if you are in our neighborhood, so to speak. But it feels like, yeah, it's real, the family. It's amazing, and yeah, and I'm looking forward to have you all there. Jai Satchidananda.